Wasn't nobody sitting around going, okay, now you know about 20 years down the line you're gonna be marrying Melanie. You got it? You ready for your training? So it wasn't like, The Last Dragon or nothing, like I was going through Melanie training, and then finally when I made her, I'm ready. I got my moves. No, I had to. She's imparted, and I got it. And I study. I told you I study her. I study my wife. I was like, oh, I listen. You want that? You want that? You like this? You like that? I'm listening when she don't even know I'm paying attention. But trust me, it wasn't just I showed up. You want flowers. Got it.
That's what I was expecting. I was expecting him to be so in tune with me. If you say you love me, then you should feel me. You know what I'm feeling. You know what I'm thinking. You are in me. You know what I mean? And it was unrealistic. And as a result, I mean, here he is. I'm sure I said I'm sorry, but I'm saying it again because I know.
I don't know. No, I'm playing.
But I do apologize that seriously because you expect the person.
You hurt my feelings.
You expect the person to really meet your needs, and they don't know what your needs are. I mean, so help that. Look, we're designed to be helpers. Help them get to love you the way you need to be loved.
And that will be the active listening too, for both parties to actively listen. Yeah. The other thing with communication is you have to make communication catchable. So there was some little kids in there, but you have that young man right there. So you have Chavis. If I was throwing a basketball to Chavis, I could throw a chest pass, I could throw a baseball pass, I could throw it all types of ways. I'm not throwing it to him like that. You throwing it to him like what? Because you want him to do what? Catch it. You're not throwing it to him, you hit your hands. Kind of son of you can't catch. You don't roll like that with your child. Right. So it's the same thing with communication. It's your job to make it catchable. That's what I was taught in college. My coach, I would throw the pass. If it hit your hands, I was like, it hit your hands, you should have caught it. Coach was like, Keith, you're the point guard. It's your job to make it catchable. He said, Keith, some big men have poor recognition. He said, so you have to throw a bounce pass where they can hear it, see it, and then receive it. He said, if you just throw it to them like just a quick little drop, they don't have enough time to process it, to recognize it.
That's good.
He says some people you gotta penetrate to the hole, get to all the way to the goal, and the last second lay it in their hands. So they don't have to think about nothing but catching it and laying it in. He says some people you can hit any type of way at any time and they'll finish. He says, but it's your job to be sensitive to who's receiving. And it's the same thing with communication. Do you want to be right or do you want it absorbed? It's something that working with the ministers on. Do you want to just know information or do you want it to be absorbed and processed and people to live out? See, when it's just about what you know, you lose your audience. If it's just about what you say, you lose your audience. If it's about who you serve, they follow you, they're rolling with you. Same thing in the conversation. If it's just about what I know, I lose my audience. If it's about just what I'm saying, I lose my audience. But if it's about who I'm serving, she's with me. You have to make it catchable. It can't just be, I'm right. Right. You're right by yourself. Is that the goal? And that's what's healthy in communication. And some people, the reason why it's difficult is because people don't consider anybody but themselves. Some of it's because you've been an only child. Some of it's been because maybe you've been spoiled or you've been treated like an only child. That's not putting you down. That's just like you have to work a lot harder to consider other people. People that grow up with a lot of family members, you got to share, right? Share stuff you don't even want to share, right? Share stuff that they take and they be like, oh, let them have it, Chavis, right? Right? But so you at an early age, you learn how to share. I grew up in a foster family, so not only I had to share, I served everybody. Because when nobody think about me, so it's like, no, you need to do this over there, do that. Oh, just give it to them. So I'm used to serving people. So that doesn't mean I'm better than anybody. That's just been my entire life. Some people, when they first start coming to church is when they even heard the word service. So now they get into a relationship and sharing or thinking about somebody else. Now just it's about what's important to me. That's not catchable. A person can't absorb that. You have to consider your audience. You're losing the most important thing in your life because you're in your own world. And that's not just marriage. That's friendships. That's employees. That's people that you're supervising. That's people that you're working for. All because you're not considering your audience. You're thinking about you and you only.
Let me speak to that.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
There's a lost art into listening. Because really, to be honest with you, to be a good, effective communicator, you have to listen. And if you listen, what'd you say? You have 2 ears. Yeah, that's true. Why did God, look. That's twice as much. I like that. I mean, think about it. Why?
She said 2 ears and 1 mouth.
2 ears and 1 mouth.
Listen
and so he really wants us to listen because in all honesty, because now notice y'all what we do. We're in a conversation with our mate. And instead of us listening, I mean, like from the start to the finish, we are thinking about what we're going to say. We're thinking about, what I want, as opposed to really, really hearing the person through. And we are all guilty of that. We've got to stop and listen. Because listening will actually give you another understanding of what it is that the person really trying to say. Then you have to ask questions. Sometimes we really don't complete our thoughts. Like I'm guilty of that. I'll talk about something, but I'm more focused on the end result of what I'm trying to get out, as opposed to walking you through from start to finish how I even got to the end.
You have the whole thought in your mind.
I have the whole thought in my mind, but I don't communicate it.
But you feel like you expressed the detail because you thought about it.
Because you thought about it. So we got to get to a place where we give the person the complete thought. The complete thought. How many of y'all do that? I mean, it's almost like you don't give them the total thought. You give them the end, but you never give them from start, middle, and then
Don't lose your thought.
The thought, yeah.
That's a result of, with all due respect, a lot of times that's selfishness. The person is not worth the patience for you to give them all the detail. The person is not worth the patience for you to give them all the detail. Go ahead.
I think that was probably it then. Seemed like it was one major thing, but that's okay.
What she said, and somebody indicated it earlier, is the value of listening, period.
Yeah.
So she talked about making sure you give the complete thought, but also really listening. And try it this week. I know we did a teaching on, I think you referenced it. We'll see how much we really don't listen. Really are not listening. We try to monitor each other.
I know what it is. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to complete your
No,
thought? You
I'm
sure?
good.
Okay. So in the listening, if you listen to this side and you listen to this side, and then there's understanding and wisdom on the inside, in the middle.
I'll get it.
But a lot of times we don't listen to both sides, and so we never really can come together and say, okay, you know what? I hear your point, and you got a point here over on this side. Okay, so let's seek understanding. What is understanding saying about this situation? What's the wisdom for what it is that we're looking for? James 1:5 talks about, that if any man wants wisdom, he can ask of him, and he'll give it to you liberally. So you can stop in the middle after both parties have been heard or have listened to what they were saying. Then now you stop and you say, okay, let's pray. Let's ask God for some wisdom about what it is that we're not seeing. What's the understanding? What's the wisdom in this situation? So it's really hearing your thought, hearing my thought, and now let's seek for the understanding. Some of us don't seek for the understanding or the wisdom about that situation. So.
All right, let's stand on your feet.